At the same time, in another place, a new nightmare was unfolding. The hell? An entire battalion of at least a dozen tanks had failed to bring down a single man. No, an entire battalion of tanks was being destroyed by a single man. In the center of the supernatural maelstrom stood a somber specimen of a man, darker than the blackest of nights. Beneath his neatly worn uniform stretched a body of steel trained to the utmost limit. A perfect fusion of the sort of artistry found in the great sculptures of antiquity and raw martial prowess. The man wielded nothing, not even a short blade. He fought with his fists alone. But they were all he needed to sunder the armor of a tank as if it were nothing more than scrap paper. Needless to say, no mere man could hope to imitate this display. Indeed, he was a monster. Or if not, a weapon-taking human form. A fortress upon the battlefield. Either way, the Soviet forces were dealing with an inhumane soldier. A being exceeding human boundaries. Furthermore, the towering beast of a man had yet to so much as attempt to evade any of the artillery fire being leveled upon him. So not only is he indestructible, he just destroys anything with his bare hands? What the hell is this guy? What are these people? They have to be gods or something. Even after being pelted by countless bullets and tank shells, his body remained unscathed. However, this was only natural. For everyone knew this man, this strength, and his name. Knew that he was a hero who had died a year before. So there's a bunch of freaking dead people walking around becoming freaking gods. What the heck is this? And what was dead could not be killed. The man let out a deep breath. His overflowing will melted the surrounding rubble into toxic waste, blasting it afar with a gust of burning wind. His tightened muscles expanded to their extremes as if longing for release. A hammer of steel. There existed nothing in this universe that could withstand the blow he was preparing to unleash. The energies gathered in his fists gave birth to refraction, causing the very visage of the man to distort. But as the man finished swelling up with energy and was about to unleash destruction, bruh. His fierce concentration suddenly let up just as it was about to reach critical mass, as if something had ruined his mood. Perhaps he thought the panicking soldiers, having lost their morale, were not even worth killing. Then, had those soldiers miraculously escaped the jaws of death? Of course not. What in this world could surpass the thrill of the hunt? The song of the cruel huntress echoed across the night. Oh, whoa! A scorching wave of pure flame passed by the man, devouring the soldiers, burning them to cinders. This was clearly no ordinary weapon. Its destructive force far exceeded the powers of Molotov cocktails or tank fire. It was more akin to a pulse of concentrated energy from a nuclear blast, as impossible as that seemed, than any urban weapon. Otherworldly screams of pure agony reverberated throughout the war-torn battlefield, now engulfed by a sea of flames. The soldiers, assailed by the instantaneous burst of fire, had evaporated without trace, but the hate-filled screams of their souls rang out into the night. This was the same phenomenon that Schreiber had conjured up just a moment earlier. It was uncertain for how long the woman had been standing back to back with the somber man. Her tone was grim and bereft of joy, her visage deep crimson. So I guess the visage is like their aura, basically. But like, damn, dude, all these people died. They were all German soldiers, and now they're gods, or whatever they are. Swaying hair the color of fresh blood and hellfire. Oops. She would possess a certain calculating whoa, 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 whoa. Peacefully letting forth a puff of cigar smoke, the woman posed a question to the man at her back. No answer came.
まあいい。殺しすぎるシュライバーと合わせればちょうど均衡は取れよう。無人の教授だかなんだか知らんが、せいぜい大事にするわ。ここは奴らにうまく攻め落としてもらう必要がある。故に殺しすぎるのも殺さなさすぎるのも等しく罪だということを自覚しているなら何も言わん。それとも一度タガが外れれば皆殺しにしてしまいかねないから抑えている。であるな。私も同じ心境だ。
One could be blamed for mistaking the Crimson Woman's words for those of a lunatic. No sane person would speak as if they were capable of destroying the entire Red Army surrounding Berlin on a whim.
宣告。相当閣下が行かれた。長官の長官殿、こううるさい宣伝屋もいずれ後を追うだろう。そして大量の市民と同胞を道連れにこの程度を陥落する。犠牲としては性質創造を試みるのになるほど適当な触媒だろう。敵を幾百万捧げたところで守るべき民、愛すべき民、彼ら10人の方が命は重い。それが人間というもの。
ザミエ。
Samuel? The man finally spoke and his voice is deep as all hell. Mercurius?
何？貴様。あれに何か用があると。
Silence again, the man failed to answer. The woman narrowed her eyes, her gaze heavy with suspicion, before letting loose an exasperated sigh.
まただんまり。寡黙すぎる男というのも考えものだな。まさかあれと戦おうなどと考えているわけでもない。そして仮にそうだとしたらくだらんよ。バカバカしいからやめておけと言って。あれは絶対に殺せ。もしかしたらある意味で楽にひねれるのかもしれない。いずれにせよ、あれは我々の上官であり、狩猟殿の盟友だ。貴様が範囲を持つというのなら、はっきり言って捨ておけない。
俺にそんなつもりはない。
だろう。貴様の硬すぎる頭の中で
You could never hatch a plan in that thick skull of yours!
故に私はさっきの質問に答えている。
Lifted her head to look up at the sky.
我らが黒煙卓の指導者お二人は兄弟のごとく仲が良い。 であれば必然あれのいる場所は決定している。見るがいい。
Obsidian round table? Meanwhile, up in the Berlin sky, tainted by blood and fire, taking form through the carnage of the capital, was a tremendous swastika. A man stood atop the towering spire in its center.
我らが主、偉大なるハガルの君の恩前である。そのお言葉、目視、刮目して拝聴せよ。
Her booming voice echoed in the ears of all living men in the city of Berlin as if through some sort of sorcery. At that very moment, all soldiers ceased their fighting, all children dried their tears, and all elders stopped their flight. Each and every soul in the city gazed up to the sky as if possessed. Its deep canopy was tainted by the blood and fire of the city below, boiling as if it were some sort of cauldron. The Berlin Himmel. On the very day the 1,000-year Reich crumbled to dust, a devil of blinding light descended from the heavens. What the hell is going on? Who the hell is this? What? His locks like a floating mane, golden in color, his regal gaze equally golden. It was the gold of splendor, of brilliance surpassing creation itself, beauty mingling with heavy solemnity. Yet at the same time, beastly in hue. Hui. A being that should not exist in the realm of man, the harbinger of beguiling light. At his side, a man with features vague and twisting as the darkest of shadows. He was garbed in the plain robes of a hermit, with ambiguous features that made it impossible to discern his age. A yin to his yang, the two of them existed on a level far removed from that of any being gazed up at them. They were the monsters whom even the monsters feared. Number 1 and 13 of the Longinus Drazen Orden's Obsidian Round Table. Its leader and vice commander. Obsidian Round Table. Gazing down at Berlin, no, the entire world, the man of gold began his speech. Are we reliving the intro already?
敗者は敗者になるべくして生まれ、どのような経緯をたどろうとその結末へと帰結する。この世界の仕組みとやらがそのようになっていたとしたら、ならばどのような努力もどのような怠慢も祈りも願いも意味はない。神の恵みもそして裁きもすべてそうなるように定められているだけだとしたら、ケラ悪魔の子、世界の敵として滅ぼされんとしている者たちは一辺の罪とがなしに侵され、この忌むべき月頭の輪の中、死すらもまた解放ではない。英語そこに至れば回帰をなし、再び始まりに戻るのみ。そしてケイラの始まりとは丘ゆえにこの後も無限に苦しみ無限に殺され続けるだろう。そのように生まれた以上、そのようにな、それを口惜しいと覆したいと。
His grim words reached every soul residing in Berlin. Nothing awaits you but eternal suffering, eternal defeat. The people of Berlin could not deny his claims. The Golden Beast proclamation rang out with the urgency of the trumpet of the final judgment. This was a man possessed of supernatural charisma, utilizing extreme conditions in order to manipulate the will of others was hardly a novel trick in and of itself. But the sheer scale of the man's performance here warranted deeper scrutiny. His voice possessed a magical quality capable of penetrating the very heart of all those who heard it. The best comparison was to the cries of dragon from the Age of Legends, a juggernaut of a voice that would not fail to ensnare any mortal, and the being that possessed it was certainly no mortal. The Golden Beast, the Black Prince, the Harbinger of beguiling light, the Monarch of destruction. Every word that passed forth from his lips was saturated in magic. He gave the command, if you wish to overcome your miserable lot in life, then offer your very soul. If you long to wash away the stigma of the defeated, take the pen and sign a pact with blood. It was the temptation of the devil himself. The Golden Monarch looked down upon the lesser beings crawling upon the earth and posed a question to them. The answer was all too evident. Grant us victory. Grant us victory. Seghairu Victoria. A deep fissure ran across the man's perfectly beautiful face to conjure the words of Dr. Faust. His features portrayed the uncanny equilibrium of a genuine smile and a grotesque sneer. Yo, they are really whipping out the vocabulary words in this game. As I say that, the next word, what is this? Mephistopheles? Mephistopheles? The Harbinger of beguiling light. Mephistopheles. The name of the wicked fiend that could grant man's every wish in exchange for his living soul. Enlist in my legion. Wow. The moment those ponderous words left his lips, the unthinkable happened. All men with guns in hand took them to their mouths. All those wielding blades thrust them deep into their own chests. They all killed themselves? Those without armaments plunged themselves into the hellfire still raging around them? Guns roared. Steel drank blood. Men plunged to their death. Suicide unfolded on every street corner. This is actually ridiculous. And if I want to whip out the freaking vocabulary words, unfathomable. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands rushed to their deaths with abnormal haste, their souls being absorbed into the Golden Monarch. It was an insatiable holocaust engulfing the entire capital. This could not have been the first time. He had consumed countless souls in the past. Was this then the final ritual necessary to complete his task? A grand sacrificial altar stained by the blood of soldiers and countrymen who had looked up to him as a savior, begging for salvation. In all its grimness, all its cruelty, all its terror, it was... What?
まさに悲劇。あなたを慕い、あなたが守るべき者たちがあなたのせいで死んでゆく。あなたはそれを嘆き、喜び、自らの力へと変えるだろう。
Jubilance? imbibing of their essence in order that you may. Dude, these. Yo, this vocabulary is literally
私は
ridiculous.
この滑稽な人生でただ一人畏敬の念を抱いた獣ども。あなたはこれから何をなす？
The shade of a man who remained silent until
あ
now
なたは
finally
一体
spoke.
何を求める？
愚問だな。法則の破壊と超越。私に道を示したのは K だろう。もっとも他に個人的興味がないでもないが。
それは一体？
法則を作ったもの。
なるほど。すなわち
God, or perhaps the devil? The shade chuckled. This man's calling him the shade. Its lips
私
widened
は
into
優
a
秀な
smile.
生徒を得て幸せだ。エイビヒ回答を正しく理解しているのはやはり現状あなただけか。素晴らしい。この瞬間だけは何度経験しても飽きが来ない。それだけに正直
行くのか、カール。
Carl?
その名も置いていきましょう。いずれ必ず会えるはず。半世紀もすれば東方のシャンバラが完成する。
Half
そこ
a
に私の代理を
century?
用意するゆえ下僕たちの遊び相手にでもすればよろしい。
Substitute?
今回の契約であなたの魂は他に比類なき強度を得た。
The
性
Arc?
質創造の思考を果たした以上怒りの日ま
Day
で
of
こちら
Wrath.
にとどまる理由はありますまい。
Kristoff.
万全を期すために幾人かあちらに連れて行ってはいかがです？
無論元よりそのつもりだ。ザミエル、シュライバー、ベル
Should I, but
彼らを共に連れて行こ
結構それは隙のない人選だ。というよりあの3人以外では今のあなたに随伴することなど叶わぬか。
The two men exchange words in a casual tone, perhaps reminiscent of two chess players contemplating their moves. Even as scenery from hell spread out beneath them, it was apparent why the two of them would have been seen as brothers. They shared a certain air of resigned enlightenment, as if they presided from lofty heights lesser beings could not dream of reaching. No tragedy, no comedy, no creation under the sun would move them. Their laughter was no more sneer, nor their actions merely the results of a frozen heart. Rather, they were worn down by time itself, imbued with the uncanny aura of an ancient sage. Gazing up at the two of them were roughly 10 others in military uniform, standing completely unscathed within the decaying capital of agony that was Berlin. They were the fangs and claws of their golden master, and among them the three mentioned earlier surpassed even the rest. The Crimson Woman had tears of joy trickling down her face in response to the honor of being chosen by her golden commander. Her loyalty grew fiercer than ever. The silver-haired boy responded with sulk, lamenting the temporary end of his carnage. For the moment, however, he vowed to acquiesce. The somber giant stood silent, seemingly oblivious to all but the shade he fixed his gaze upon. Worry not, your wish will be granted soon enough. I would appreciate it if you would not glare at me quite so forcefully. The figure of a man grinned, amused by the giant's electrifying gaze before turning his attention to his golden brother once more.
獣殿、再び我らがまみえる時こそ互いの目的が成就すると祈りましょう。
Truth be told, I'm really curious what happens next, but I also kind of want this scene to end so I can end the video because this is kind of long at this
う。傍
point.
観するだけでは何もつかめん。K の悪い癖だな、カール。
確かに。であればここに誓いましょうか。
The Toten Kaup Empire that had waged war against the world had finally met its end. Whether it be true or not, it is an oft-repeated anecdote that Nazi German, in possession of some of the world's most advanced technology during this time period, had dabbled in obscene rituals behind the scenes in the pursuit of the secrets of black magic. What became of the demons brought forth by those experiments and all their diabolic relics? Their whereabouts would remain unknown, assuming that they ever truly existed to begin with.